everybody. Welcome in. Gaughan Racin, South Point Studio. Brennan Gaughan here with, of course, my good buddy Jeff Motley. And I'm telling you, SiriusXM, every week we start just, I can't.
We just start laughing.
We just laugh. We open the show every week with a laugh and makes us happy.
And we found out she has jokes. We just found out today she has jokes.
Professionally unprofessional, and we have jokes now. I mean, she's been working with Frank on punchlines so much that now she has, she's got Joe and she has a radio voice. We might even test it out today.
Oh yes, I think we might hear from her before the show is over.
We might try to
We're
do that.
We're going to let her out of witness protection for about 5 picks later on.
So welcome in everybody. Gaughan Racin. Last week we had an amazing race out at Kansas, and
a
non-playoff driver had a hell of a run. A guy that we had I'm not saying we've written him off, but we definitely have not been high on the Trackhouse group much lately. But Ross Chastain put out a hell of a win. Kyle Busch, our buddy Kyle, you and I texted during the race, Jeff.
Yeah.
Look, we tell everybody we can be biased. You know why? Because we're not real media people.
Correct.
We're allowed to be who we are. And so we both were going, come on, no yellow. And it was under, I walked away and I've got my little NASCAR scoring app, and all of a sudden I see yellow come out and I see Kyle's number start dropping, and I go, oh, you got to be kidding.
And I have to talk about the Kyle Busch incident too, though, because there's I was kind of conflicted on it. First off, Briscoe did not give him a lot of room. Briscoe
did nothing wrong.
But he's also a playoff driver trying to stay on the lead lap.
And Kyle said he messed. If you look, Briscoe left Kyle a lane.
It was not a very wide lane,
but it was a lane. He left him the whole lane. And I listened to Briscoe this week. He goes, look, I don't want to be involved in anything like this. He goes, I was having a bad day, but I have to minimize my bad day. I can't just run the bottom and give up 20 miles an hour. And he goes, I was giving him the outside, so he had air on his nose. He said, I heard Kyle lift or throttle up middle of the corner. I knew he was going to beat him outside, but he just drove. I was giving it to him, but he just drove too hard to it. And Kyle said that. He goes, I just made him look, when you start having a year like Kyle's having, you don't run that hard every week, right? You don't get those opportunities.
But you also press.
And
I think there was probably
had
that
a spot to press, and it bit him, and that sucks because you and I are both, hoping for Kyle to have a good day, and he didn't because of that. He's
running out of time.
He is running out of time, and that was a good one. He had a shot there, so kind of a bummer, but not a bummer for our winner, Ross Chastain, who, how about the odds to win for Ross? 40-1 shot.
Anybody pick that?
No.
We didn't.
You could have almost halved me if you would have come to pick that one. Almost.
I wish people listening on the radio could see the look on my face right now.
Plus 700 for a top three, plus 290 for the Group D win. Chevy was plus 130. And, of course, no championship odds change for him because he is not in the championship. The top three, a good top three, and I'm going to have to eat some crow here. I had kind of written off Martin Truex Jr. as, you know what, he's just not showing up to play, even though Kansas was a home track for him, and another
one of his 12 home tracks,
his 18 home tracks.
Many he's got.
He was plus 400. William Byron, who I was high on, picked him in Group A. But here's the best: I picked William Byron in Group A at plus 445. He was plus 350 for a top three, so I got better odds in the Group A.
Yeah, that was a good call on your part there, the William Byron in Group A. And, William Byron's one of those guys. It gets started late in the season, and suddenly, starts running pretty well.
Hendrick Motorsports.
You see certain guys, they're just stronger down the stretch.
They are, and look at Hendrick Motorsports here. You got William Byron second. You got Alex Bowman in sixth. You got Chase Elliott in ninth. And the only one not listed there ended up in the end getting what, last caution or something like that. But Christopher Bell, we thought, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, regulars up there. Ty Gibbs, another solid top 5 day. But good runs that didn't pay off for some.
Yeah, the other thing is we really saw in this race, and we didn't see it with the finish, the Penske cars were really fast.
Yes.
And Blaney, he got a fourth-place finish. Cindric ended up getting us turned around there late in the race, and Joey Logano faded there. He had a problem, I think, as well. But they were really, really strong, and it just seems like those Penske cars are coming to life a little bit here late in the race. But on the converse side of things, there's a guy who I think there's a lot of concern about right now, and that's Tyler Reddick. They did not have speed. And for that team not to have speed, that's a real concern. Now, maybe it's not going to affect quite as much this week at Talladega because I think we're all going to be kind of evened out. But look, if he's going to advance to the next round, with Homestead, with Las Vegas, Homestead, how important that is.
And those are tracks that are up Tyler Reddick's alley. we're not going to touch on certain subjects on this show that may be affecting Tyler Reddick's race car. But, it is a concern. I mean, this weekend, not so much because it's Talladega. And
everybody's going to run the same speed anyway.
Yeah, everybody's going to be doing what we do. But it still could be a cause for concern if we come, out of this race. And let's talk about the next one. This playoff round may not be as much of a problem for Tyler, but he's outside looking in. The next couple races, of course, today is the second race of this round, the Yellowwood 500 at Talladega. Then we're going to Charlotte, to the Roval, the Bank of America 400. So that road course and super speedway, two races that maybe aren't going to affect Tyler Reddick, good road racer. So he should be okay. Kyle Larson, good road racer. Austin Cindric, good road racer. Could be some stuff. Then we start the round of 8. And Jeff, we got to talk about, of course, the start of the round of 8, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the South Point 400. Never heard of the place. Here it's pretty nice, though. Heard they got some good food.
It's a beautiful racetrack. Somebody's made a lot of laps around there.
Not that one.
Well, but still kind of made a lot of laps.
Same geolocation.
That's right. Well, the same little footprint, if you will. But yes. No, we're excited about the race coming out. I mean, we're really excited about these first two races coming up to see who the final 8 drivers are. So there's going to be 8 drivers left in the playoffs when we get to Las Vegas. Las Vegas has been a pivotal racetrack. Yep. I mean, we've seen Kyle Larson, the success he's had there going. And, we've had a number of drivers win in Las Vegas, even back through the day, that went on to win championships. Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth, Jeff Gordon, a lot of different guys. Mark, I don't think Tony Stewart, so Kyle Busch, so guys that have won in Vegas and then gone on and won the championship, and then it's Homestead and Martinsville.
So it's kind of a unique round. This round, of course, we said was a mile and a half, and then the Talladega, the 2 wild cards. Now you got a mile and a half, but a very unique mile and a half. So it's its own kind of animal down at Homestead, which I think is kind of cool. And then, of course, the Martinsville Speedway, which that is always a fun one coming down to that last deal. You put the down and dirtiest short track we got, and you make that the cutoff race. We've seen some great stuff happen in there.
Yeah, and that one always, as you know, it holds a special place for me because it's my hometown.
Absolutely.
I always loved the race. With my first ever NASCAR race at Martinsville a long time ago.
Who won that race, by the way?
Earl Ross. There's my Earl Ross nugget for you for this week. Yes, Earl Ross. The only race he ever won in his entire career. Always exciting to get to Martinsville. One of these days I want to get back to another race there. I just haven't had a chance to.
For those that don't know Gaughan Racing, go back any of the years. You will know we talk quite a bit about Earl Ross.
Earl Ross and Jody Ridley.
That's right.
If you don't know him, Google him.
But we were talking about something. What was the Jody Ridley thing? Who was
Jody Ridley? He won at Dover.
He won at Dover for
driving for Junie Dunleavy. It was Junie Dunleavy's only win ever as a team owner. Was Jody Ridley driving.
We got some great. Larry McReynolds ain't got nothing on the Jeff Motley McNuggets.
Well, and I love the fact that they have commemorated his win on Miles the Monster at Dover, and I was able to take a picture of it for you this year and send it to you just to prove it to you.
Yes, he did, because Jeff has some great ones. Let's get into where we're at this weekend, though. We all, you love to call it the crapshoot, and it is. I will admit, but when you look at stats, I always tell you this: you can't say it's a straight crapshoot, Jeff, when you have guys with some of the stats that they have, and you kick right off with Denny Hamlin, 37 races, 16 top 10s, 11 top 5s in 37. That is not crapshoot numbers. That is legit, pretty strong at a place like that. You even go to Brad Keselowski, 50% of the time he is top 10 with 15 and 31, just under 50%. 6 wins at Talladega.
Well, I can agree with you and I can disagree with you.
Okay.
Because I completely agree with you when you look at the statistics and what these guys have done. You look at Brad Keselowski, you look at Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, and these guys are going to run well. But I can disagree with you because it's also a racetrack where we see David Reagan come out of nowhere and win a race there. And we've seen drivers that, holy smokes, look,
the reason I raced there.
And keep in mind, Brad Keselowski's first win there he was one of those guys. Where did this guy come from?
Phoenix Racing, where did he come from?
Exactly. So
no, I don't disagree, but
I think that's why I agree and disagree.
And that's why why the 62 team shows up. Right?
Who's in the 62 this week?
We got Fast Pasta this week.
Oh, Alfredo's back?
Alfredo this week. So
no driver that's going to upset the Chevy camp this week?
This was a schedule planned all season long. There's no conspiracies here.
Is he going to follow the rules? Is he
we're going to talk.
Line?
Unfortunately, the South Point has him in the field, so I'm not going to be able to.
I just want to know if the team competition director will be talking to the driver this week.
So let's talk about the teams that can do well here. As you said,
Beard Oil Motorsports
can
do very well here.
Remember, I hit a field bet earlier this season.
Oh, that's right. You did.
Is this a week that we go back to the field, Jeff?
Well, you could.
Just saying. Look, I brag about how this is not a crapshoot, that there are guys that have great stats here. But why does a team like the 62 show up? The Beard Oil team shows up because we can win this race. You show up with good stuff. You show up with a race car. You have a shot to win this race. So there is legitimate crapshoot deals in it. And this is a race where when we get to the odds to win, we're going to notice not often do we have single-digit winner odds. And we have horrible head-to-head odds, which we all know that.
Although I think people are going to be a little surprised by...
There is a couple head-to-head. We'll foreshadow a couple segments here.
Yes, absolutely.
There are a couple head-to-heads that Jeff and I scratched our head about and went, That, like the pun there? Head-to-head? Scratch your head? Wow. Nothing.
Ann has jokes. You don't.
We'll leave that to Frank Nicotero. But this is a week that you could bet the field, and when we give the odds,
but the problem is the field is at
a very small bet.
It's not
the South Point Hedge this week. They added more drivers before they got to the field.
At least we have a field that's got more than one driver in it.
I went back there yesterday and kind of.
Did you pat them on the back?
I pat them on the back because they now have all the championship contenders, not a field bet. All right, guys. When we come back, we'll give you the odds to win this race and get into the nuts and bolts of Gaughan Racing.
South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rockin' dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grandview Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grandview Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grandview Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby. South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
A very professional countdown on this one. Welcome back to Gaughan Racing. We will go to our professional voices here. Brendan Gaughan with Jeff Motley in the South Point studio.
Geez, I feel like you're getting ready to spin the oldies on me over there.
We can do Wolfman Jack. He's a little more fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into what we do, Jeff. We're into the odds to win the Yellowwood 500 at Talladega. And this is, you and I said this off air before the show, Jeff, the most difficult race of the year, the 4, now 6 if you really take Atlanta. These races are the most difficult. I think
Atlanta's a little more predictable than Daytona. And I think Daytona is a little more predictable than Talladega.
Little.
Only because Talladega is the run track. You can actually run 4 and 5 wide.
I have a picture of me 5 wide, and I yelled at my spotter and said, if I ever hear you say 5 wide, you're on the bottom ever again. And I retired right after that, by the way.
I think it'd be better if he said, you got too high and too low.
He said 5 wide, you're on the bottom. And first of all, me on the bottom, which was already scary enough. And I got a picture of it, and I went, I never want to see that again.
By the way, speaking of spotters, did you hear the Justin Haley situation? He got into the accident at Kansas, but remember, it was his first race with the new team.
Yes.
But he didn't bring his spotter with him. He kept, and so the terminology that his spotter was saying,
he said
what he
it was
heard
different than what he
was completely what he was used to hearing. And so he ended up, he thought he was supposed to go right, but he went left and he hit the guy, and next thing you know, we had an accident on our hands. So I don't remember the whole deal.
I've raced a long time.
But he said that what the guy said, he thought it was the opposite of what his spotter said. And so I don't know.
I hear.
Go back and look it up.
Excuses.
Because I clearly don't have the whole story, but there was something.
Allergies.
There was something. Tell me about it. Yeah.
All right, let's get to the odds to win. And we will notice, we talked about it last show, nobody at the South Point in single digits. You kick off with Ryan Blaney, your favorite, 10-1. Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, both at 12. Kyle Busch, 14-1. Denny Hamlin, 16. Who else has 16? I'm getting old. Denny Hamlin, Michael McDowell, Austin Cindric, all at 16. William Byron, 18. Chris Buescher, Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick, Kyle Larson, all at 20. Alex Bowman and Ross Chastain, 25-1.
You know, one guy who, it's interesting, he's 20-1. You say Kyle Larson is 20-1. Kyle Larson does not run well at Talladega. 19 starts, one top 5, and only 3 top 10s.
And it's just, this is one of those things, we've talked about it. There are ways to run this race, and it's just never worked out for the way Larson races. And that's bad because he did not have his good run that we expected at Kansas.
But
that
he
was
still
kind of
has
his
a
buffer.
little cushion. But that cushion, as we know, can get turned around in a hurry. And we certainly know on Austin Cindric or Chase Briscoe or somebody like that could win this race. And both of those guys are a long way below the cut line right now.
Cindric has won at these type of places. You know, so this is a place, Larson's 18 to the good, but you have a very, very bad day here. This could be very, very bad for Kyle. It could be, we could be talking about him again like last week, going into the Roval, saying he's got to have a good run. But we saw what he did last week. You know, I look at this and I go, okay, Denny Hamlin, 16-1, arguably one of the best super speedway racers. You know, my only question about Denny is he going to go into this round like he did Atlanta and say, I just need to get 20 points and be good? Or is he going to go and say, I'm Denny Hamlin and this is Talladega?
Well, you know, he's made 37 starts there and he's only won twice.
Yeah, but he's got 7, what would we say?
He's got 16 top 10,
16 top 10,
11
17 top 10.
5s. I mean, he's a strong driver there. But I think, look, a lot of these guys are probably going to try to be careful as long as they can, right? I mean, you're just not going to, most of these guys are just not going to go out there and push it early on.
Are we going to talk about the new style with the whole saving fuel and what it does for us? Does that affect how I bet? Because now these guys are all saving fuel to have. They talk about it on air that whoever spends the least amount of time on pit road wins that race off pit road. I don't think it's that important of a deal because the way these guys race at the end, I don't think it's that big of a thing. But they all believe that you've got to, flat out save all that fuel.
Well, that means you don't want to. No one wants to lead if that's what you're going to do.
That does mean no one wants to lead. They don't like to lead. I was listening to Michael McDowell this morning talking with Daniel Trotta, talking about not, how being out front is, the bad place now because you're using too much fuel.
But he finds himself out front at the Daytonas and the Talladegas a lot.
He's going for a record here. He's going for, I believe it's 6 poles in a row at super speedways. He's had every pole this year on every super speedway. So their Front Row Motorsports is going for an unprecedented record here. So he starts up front, and if you look at how he runs, he starts up front. But I'm going to the super speedways. Michael McDowell may start up front, 25th best point getter, average finish 23.7 in the last 10 super speedway races.
Well, and that's kind of what I've always also thought McDowell seems to be a little stronger at Daytona than he is at Talladega. And I know we talk about, a lot of people think those tracks are identical to each other. They're not. They're incredibly different. The only thing that's the same is the quote unquote restrictor plate, which we don't even use restrictor plates anymore, but it's the type, the engine is set up the same way. The tracks are incredibly different. They race completely different. And a lot of times the guys we see with great success at Daytona, Denny Hamlin, we don't see the same success at Talladega.
Well, let's get to the second page because there's a few names on the second page that are, in my opinion, a pretty darn good threat. We kick off Martin Truex Jr., Ty Gibbs, both 25-1. Chase Briscoe, Daniel Suarez, Todd Gilliland, all at 30. Josh Berry, Noah Gragson at 40. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Justin Haley, Corey LaJoie, Ryan Preece also 40. AJ Allmendinger, Austin Dillon at 60. And then the field is 20-1.
You're going to roll the dice on that field bet
That's
again?
11 drivers in the field at the South Point. 11 drivers, Jeff.
including at least, and I can't think of everybody, but including one as a former Daytona 500 winner. No, I'm sorry. I just saw Austin Dillon. All right, he's there 60-1.
Justin Haley is in that list.
No, Haley's on this
list.
Is Haley
on there?
Yeah, Haley's on this list.
Didn't hear.
So now I got to figure out who's on the.
I'm looking back. On the bad list. You've got guy Ryan Priest. I don't think I read Ryan Priest's name.
Priest is there. Yeah, Priest is there. 40-1.
I'm doing bad on that.
Let's just give up on that, Brendan. Maybe see, suddenly that
Hocevar?
Field bet doesn't look so good.
No, Hocevar.
Okay, there you go.
Hocevar's in there.
Yeah,
62 is in there. 62's running 2 top 10s in a row.
Harrison Burton
to finish. Harrison Burton is back in there.
Did he not just win at Daytona?
He just won the last one. That's what got him into the playoffs.
It got you your field bet.
That's
too,
right. So I mean, there are some drivers in the field. I don't see. Did we? Yep, we said Dinger. There's still some names that are in the field that make you scratch your head and say, well, is it worth that field bet?
The one, forget the field bet from it. The one I really kind of like on here, 30-1, Daniel Suarez. These are good racetracks for Daniel. He runs very well on these type tracks, 30-1. And look, he's a guy that's in the playoffs. And I would like to think that if he and Ross are running close together late, that Ross is a team player. And he seems like a team player.
The one thing I can tell you, everybody, we joke all the time about Ross Chastain, right? I mean, but Ross Chastain 1,000% is a guy that is for Trackhouse, that is for Justin Marks and what he has done for him. And that is a guy that will stick to the end to get Daniel Suarez somewhere. So I think that could be a big deal at the end of the race. If he's there, I don't think Ross will even stick his nose out. I think Ross will help get his teammate to the finish.
If Ross is doing anything, he's blocking anybody that's trying to come up on either side of him. I
absolutely agree with that. So I think that Daniel Suarez at 30-1 on that page is a huge number. And Austin Dillon, 60-1, a guy that's won on these places, a guy that team needs to win. They are working hard on trying to get that win, and these are places that they are good at. 3 top 10s, top 5 last 10 races just at Talladega. You look at them this year on the big tracks, this could be a place that Austin and Kyle, both. Kyle hates these places. We've talked about it before. Austin Dillon doesn't.
But now, if you got Austin and Kyle running for the win, I'm not seeing necessarily. Austin wants to win, but Kyle really needs to win. Yeah. I mean, he's more desperate. So
very true.
I don't know that I see the teamwork quite. And I'm not saying they're not good teammates.
I don't see them.
But I don't see them working the same way that I would see
Ross
Daniel
Chastain
and
Daniel
Ross
Suarez
would work together.
Absolutely. Not being negative, we just don't see the same.
Right.
They both want to win.
And then you got 4 Hendrick cars out there that are all in the playoffs, and it's every man for himself to some degree, I would imagine. So
let's get to the top 3. Because this is where, of course, Talladega, Daytona, we talk about the top 3s a lot. Ryan Blaney, your favorite, 280. Co-favorites, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, all 280. Kyle Busch, 300. William Byron, Chase Elliott, 400. Denny Hamlin, 450. Tyler Reddick, Kyle Larson, Chris Buescher, Bubba Wallace, all at 5. Ross Chastain, Austin Cindric, 600s. Michael McDowell, Martin Truex Jr., 7. Daniel Suarez at plus 800. Those numbers right there, it's really funny when you go, once again, from South Point to a DraftKings, you see the difference in where money is, how they feel about people. I love, telling me Austin Cindric is 600, Michael McDowell, 7, Bubba Wallace, 500. There's some names here that I really like in the top 3 bets.
Yeah, I agree with you. You mentioned Bubba Wallace, they're plus 500, and Austin Cindric, they're plus 600. I'm expecting Cindric to have a strong run. I really do think Cindric is going to run well here. He is a little bit desperate because he did have a rough day at Kansas, and he is below the cut line. And I think we kind of thought going into the playoffs, well, Cindric probably doesn't have much of a chance. We really weren't expecting a lot out of him, but then he ran so well in the first round of the playoffs. We think,
he's got a shot.
I think those Penske cars, look, they do work well together. They work very well together.
One thing Penske does is get his teams to work with each other.
And the Harrison Burton, even though I know he's I know what you were mumbling under your voice. And even Harrison Burton, even though he's leaving that team at the end of the year, Harrison Burton, I mean, showed he won at Daytona, but he runs fairly well in these type racetracks, and I think he would be a team player as well out there.
And we haven't said his name yet because it's on the second page. Christopher Bell kicks off with Alex Bowman, both still at 800. There was Suarez. Ty Gibbs, Ricky Stenhouse, 850. Austin Dillon, 10. Chase Briscoe, 12. Harrison Burton, ding, ding, 13-1. Todd Gilliland, Noah Gragson, both 14. Ryan Preece, 15. Justin Haley, Josh Berry, Eric Jones, AJ Allmendinger, all at 15. Corey LaJoie, 16. And SVG gets a nod here on DraftKings at 20-1. Man, you're telling me Austin Dillon, 10-1. Harrison Burton, 13-1. A Hendrick car at another 800. there is numbers back here that I love.
Well, I just see Christopher Bell and Alex Bowman both at plus 800, and I'm thinking, really? Second page, Christopher Bell, Alex Bowman. There's value.
There is a ton of value.
And I've already talked about Suarez. So Suarez at 800, great value.
But Harrison Burton, the last super speedway race, Jeff, was Daytona. Well, all right, Atlanta, but the last Daytona Talladega style was Daytona. Who was that winner? Harrison Burton.
And I think it's really going to come down to, do we get a big wreck that takes out the front of the field? You know, that's going to be a big key.
That wipes out a lot of people. And we've talked about the Ford pack versus the Chevy pack, you know, how that works out, how that makes.
And when they run close together and there's a wreck,
they take out a bunch of them. Remember what happened to the Toyotas?
And they were running in.
They were running on their own. That wasn't even a pack. That was.
Yeah,
that still, to me, is a scratch your head day.
Yeah.
But
David Wilson's still scratching his head. Maybe that's what drove David to retire. I don't know.
That is funny. Could be. All right, we come back. We'll get to the quick head-to-heads and then the group matchups when we return.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside. Or maybe you're in the mood for seafood. Big Sur Oyster Bar has fresh seafood prepared right before your eyes. Savor freshly shucked oysters, crab legs jambalaya, shrimp and lobster. Beers on tap and a selection of fine wines are perfect to pair with your seafood favorite. Whether lunch or dinner, you'll love this fun atmosphere, located just off the casino floor. Ready to shake things up? Step back in time and treat yourself to one of the oldest restaurant chains in the country. Steak and Shake, famous for original mouth-watering steak burgers and hand-dipped milkshakes in a variety of flavors. For some old-fashioned fun, try Steak and Shake.
Welcome back, everybody. We're back. We're back. Hi, guys. How are we doing? Professionally unprofessional.
Are we really back?
We're back. We were gone.
Did we get one of
But
those?
we're back.
Did we get one of those 10 seconds? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, we got that, and then we got a commercial pop back up on the live stream. And do they hear that noise on Sirius or just on? Oh yeah, they'll hear that one. All right, cool. All right, so welcome back, everybody. Gaughan Racing, professionally unprofessional. Brendan Gaughan, Jeff Motley.
Maz is going to kick us off the air.
I was just talking to Dominic the other day, and they like us. We're okay. I think.
No, we're okay.
They're asking us if we can do a live call-in show. I still say I think we're ready, Jeff. I don't know if they're ready.
Yeah, but then they're going to have to want to carry the show live.
Yeah, no, they want to carry the show live.
They want to carry the show on Thursdays when we're talking. Well, of course, we are having to do these things without seeing qualifying or anything.
They've talked about having us do a live call. They want us to do a live call, and Ann's eyes right now, you can't see it because her eyes are like this big. Like what?
What percentage will our raise be?
Hey, they'll pay us double.
The double? Okay.
Double.
Right.
The Michael Gaughan theory. I'll pay you double.
There you go.
Told me at Orleans Racing, you win a race, I'll pay you double. Thanks, Dad. It's still waiting. He paid me double for a lot of years.
No, double or nothing.
Double
is
or nothing
still
is still nothing.
What was that song? Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Was it Billy Preston or who sang that song?
You're showing your age.
You know that song? What? I'm showing my age, says the guy who's going to be 50 next year. By the way.
No matter how hard
announcing that because it's on Wikipedia.
No matter how hard I try, it's a bad day when I catch you.
Well, that will be bad.
Bad for you.
Yes. It beats the alternative, right?
Yes, it does. Let's get to head-to-heads. Oh God, we are awesome on this show. I love it. I love me and Motley. It's so much fun. Head-to-heads, as we all know, head-to-heads at Daytona, Talladega, normally not the most impressive days, but we have a couple cool ones this week, Jeff.
Well, I want to mention one thing. So I'm looking at the top threes.
Yep.
And Michael McDowell's plus 700 for a top three.
Yeah.
Denny Hamlin is plus 450 for a top three.
Yeah.
What's a head-to-head between Denny Hamlin and Michael McDowell?
Well, plus 105 for Denny Hamlin.
That seems like a really good bet to me.
Well, and this is, once again, we talk about books. This is why we don't spend a lot of time talking about it, but NASCAR fans, the people in Vegas, people that have been baseball, football, basketball, sports bettors, always have known this for years. NASCAR guys don't. Books are not all created equal. And so this is now coming from the Westgate. We've gone from the South Point to DraftKings to Westgate. These are the way different odds work. Different books have different odds makers, different, algorithms. We don't have algorithms at our place. They have, but different way money goes. So you have a Denny Hamlin plus 105 to a minus 125 Michael McDowell. You have a Denny Hamlin plus 105 to a minus 125 Austin Cindric. That actually at Daytona and Talladega is a pretty good deal right there. And there's another one, Jeff. Kyle Busch plus 110 to a minus 130 Ryan Blaney. Now, Ryan Blaney, hands down, the best at Talladega last 10 races. 6 top 10s, 5 top 5s, 3 wins, average finish 8.7. That's pretty darn phenomenal. But Kyle Busch, not a slouch there either. If you look at just the stats. Now, I always say, remember, for years, we used to say, don't even touch Kyle at this place. He hates these places.
He had a bad attitude about these.
Ever since he went to RCR, he's changed his attitude a little bit. He still hates them.
I think part of it is he actually feels like he's got a little bit stronger machine.
I think he feels like he's got better stuff when he comes to these places now. And right now, Kyle Busch, we saw it last week at Kansas, over pushing. You ain't going to get Kyle Busch to make that mistake many times, right? So I think this week, maybe this is a week to jump back on a Kyle Busch bandwagon. You're giving me a plus 110 and a 50-50 shot. And you're giving me Kyle Busch on that, even though it's against Blaney. I like that because I think Kyle could have a decent run here. And Blaney, he's sitting pretty in the points. He's plus 28. He's not going to be pushing too hard for stage points. He's going to try to get 5, 6, 7 stage points, something mediocre. Kyle Busch just running for a win. He's going to be sitting there saving some fuel, getting that short pit stop, got one of the best pit crews in the business. I kind of like the Kyle Busch 110.
I'll agree with you. It's a good number. Now, there's the one I will never agree with you to think that Ryan Blaney is going to be content running around 4th or 5th. I don't think
Good point.
I don't think that's in Ryan Blaney's DNA.
Dunna.
So, yeah. So that part I don't agree. But I do think it's a good number. But I like the Denny Hamlin over Michael McDowell more so than I like Denny over Cindric.
I agree.
I like him over
McDowell does not, even though we've talked about it, his stats say not as good at Talladega as Daytona.
And
so I like
this
that.
odd is all about where you finish and not where you start.
That's correct. So I do like the Denny Hamlin 105. That is not one that I dislike right there. All right, now Motley, once again, this is normally one of our favorite segments. We love the group matchups. This week, it's always the toughest thing. And even if we did this show on Sunday morning after qualifying, it wouldn't make the segment any easier.
If we did this show at the end of stage 2, I don't think it would make it that much easier, if you want my honest opinion.
That is very true, because it shuffles things up so much. Let's get to Group A. Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, all co-favorites, 265. Kyle Busch, 275. Okay. Any other week, I'd say, wait, Kyle Busch is back in Group A. Oh, my God. But Kyle Busch, 275, the dog. I can get him at 110 and the head-to-head. Well, do the group matchup. It could. You got Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski. Now, the only differentiator I see in this, and you know where I'm going with this, I see a Ford, and a Chevy. And you know how I love taking the don't line, so to speak. If you give me 3 Fords and 1 Chevy, and all it takes is 1 wreck to knock out those 3 Fords, and I've got 1 Chevy in this group, I'm going to take the Chevy.
But there's more Chevys in the race. So to me, I see where your point is on the group. But to me, if there's more Chevys in the race, then there's more Chevys that can be taken out in a big wreck if they're running together.
Absolutely. But that just means there's more that could get taken out. It means that there's still only 1 left in this group. All I need is the Fords to have, and this is 2 teammates, Logano, Blaney, and then Brad.
And what I like about this group here is how strong the Penske cars are always at Talladega, which Brad Keselowski knows full well because he drove them for years. You do have two of them. I also know that Ryan Blaney, to me, at Talladega, he, in my opinion, should be the favorite in this group, not a
I don't disagree.
Triple,
not a triple favorite.
So I like Blaney here at plus 265.
I like going off of that theory of one wreck happens, it's probably going to wipe out those three guys because they'll all be running near each other. I like the Kyle Busch for that differentiating.
Okay. And I'm just saying, if a big wreck happens and it's Chevrolets, then you just eliminated one driver from Group A.
Okay. Well, we agree to disagree, and one of us has 92 points on the season, and the other has 3.
So you keep reminding me.
Sorry, that's what the show's about, right? I mean, this is about gambling. I mean, I got to give the odds. I hate to, just crush in front of your buddy too. It's and hanging out, but
look, he watches the show every week. He knows how much I'm getting my rear end kicked by you, and I'm okay with that.
Just making sure. Let's get to Group B, Mr. Motley. Group B, 2 co-favorites, Denny Hamlin, Michael McDowell, both 260, Austin Cindric, Chris Buescher, both 275. We just had the head-to-head matchup from the Westgate at plus 105 for Denny, but now it's a dead heat for the favorite, Denny and Michael McDowell.
I guess you're going to use your same theory on this one too, huh?
I can see Michael McDowell, Austin Cindric, Chris Buescher, all in Fords. I can see Denny Hamlin in the lone Toyota at 260. You got to bet differently at this place, folks. This is a place that you can take the numbers, you can take the data, you can take all these things, and all it takes is one guy with a mental mistake to wipe out a bunch of them. And I see 3 Fords. I love Austin Cindric. I don't like Michael McDowell. I love Chris Buescher. But it doesn't matter because I can see that I got one Toyota that can be left running. Oh, by the way, that Toyota happens to be Denny Hamlin, one of the best at it. Makes me go, I can stick with Denny Hamlin and have the same thing I just had in Group A and differentiate myself in the first 2 groups.
Well, part of me says almost every group is worth throwing up the X on this week. That one there, I think that group there, I don't know where to go with that group. I really don't.
Notice I am scribbling on my paper if you're watching the feed.
I do see that. And I'm not touching this group this week, but I would say I probably do like Denny Hamlin or Austin Cindric in this group.
Okay.
I know who you're picking. I can see you scribbling over there. See your little southpaw working hard.
Let's get to Group C, where we have Bubba Wallace, your favorite, at 265, Christopher Bell and William Byron at 270, and Chase Elliott, 265 both, top and bottom. Sorry, my bad.
Somebody must have been betting on Chase Elliott already.
So Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, co-favorites, 265, Christopher Bell, William Byron, 270. Here I have a Toyota, a Chevy, and a Chevy. I can't do that differentiation here, so I'm going to look and say, all right, who do we like the best here? This, to me, is an absolute toss-up. Chase Elliott has some great stats, but I raced against Chase. He's gotten a lot better since I was there. When I was racing with Chase, he was dangerous at these places, and you didn't want to be near him. You didn't want him to side draft you. He was always getting offline. He has gotten way better since those eras. So I look at Talladega, second best point getter, average finish 13.5, 5 top 10s, 2 top 5s, a win, last 10 races. But guess who's right behind him with an average finish? It's 13.5 and 12.9, William Byron. So really hard to differentiate those two. Seabell, 21 average finish. Bubba Wallace, though, got to win.
But when I look at this group,
win.
The Toyotas have not been as strong at Talladega. I know Bubba's got a win there. I know Denny's got some wins there. But by and large, year after year, race after race, the Toyotas are not as strong. So I kind of break this down to 2 guys, William Byron and Chase Elliott. And I do think over the last 2 or 3 years, Byron seems like he's been the better of the 2 on these type racetracks. And I got him at 270. I like William Byron.
If you're talking super speedways, they both have 1 win. They both have 2 top 5s. Chase has 4 top 10s. William has 5 top 10s. Their average finish is 16-3 and 14-7. I mean, throw a blanket over it. So for me, if there's an X group,
I get a better number on Byron, I'm taking Byron.
To me, this is what I love about these sorts of weeks, Jeff, where we're not agreeing with ourselves every week. This is my X. I can't differentiate the two Hendrick teams, and I can't differentiate the 2 Toyotas. This is an X for me. There's nothing for me to say I can gain an advantage anywhere. I don't like this group.
Your prerogative.
There you go. And I'm the host, so I'm going to Group D. Group D, we start with Tyler Reddick as a favorite, 255. Alex Bowman, Ross Chastain, 270s. Kyle Larson, 275. Okay, I can go back to my original theory here, Jeff. I got 1 Toyota and 3 Chevrolets. 1 Chevrolet that just has not run well here in Kyle Larson. kind of like this.
Yeah, well, I see your point there, but I'm worried about Reddick. I talked
So am
about
I.
that early in the show. Something just seems off with that team. I don't like this group at all. In fact, if I had to put money on somebody and you said you got to pick somebody, I think I'd take Bowman. You know, Bowman's running better.
He is.
And those Hendrick cars are strong. And Larson, I don't know, it's just not his place.
Trying to find Bowman. Stats aren't fantastic for Bowman. All right. We come back. We'll finish talking about Group D, and we'll get into the rest of the groups and our head-to-heads and our picks when we return on Gaughan Racing in just a couple minutes.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world. Our gaming amenities include over 60 table games and over 2,600 of the most popular slot and video poker machines. We have penny slots, including the popular Buffalo games, and real machines like Wheel of Fortune, Triple Sevens, and Megabucks. If you prefer video poker, try Deuces Wild, Double Double Bonus, or a variety of multi-denomination games. Or try your hand at one of the most popular casino table games in the world, Blackjack. Don't let the game intimidate you. Blackjack, also known as 21, is both easy and fun. And our dealers are always happy to assist. And the best part? Blackjack always pays 3-2. Next, check out the roulette tables. Roulette is one of the easiest casino games to learn, and so much fun to play. It's a favorite of both beginners and seasoned players. In addition to blackjack and roulette, our casino pit features over 60 popular table games like Baccarat, Pai Gow Poker, 3-Card Poker, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Mississippi Stud. So get out of your room and come join in the fun.
Welcome back in.
I'm glad you're hosting this week.
Racing Jeff Motley, and just gave Jeff a little TMI right there in the break. Got a little back pain from old injuries and stuff, and it sucks getting old.
I mean, it's like a story I'd expect from Ricky Henderson. You know, the guy went on the DL for gingivitis one time, I think. So, I don't know if it was really that bad, but
Sounds good.
He had the weirdest injuries.
Yeah, well, he could do that. He was one of the best.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Right.
And he would tell you he was one of the best.
That's right. Hey, listen, when you're as good as he was at stealing bases, you can say it all
He
you want.
referred to himself in the third person all the time.
Let's get back. We're finishing up in Group D. Group D, the hard part for me is, you've got guys, like you said, Alex Bowman, Ross Chastain, but to me, I go back to the same theory, Jeff, Tyler Reddick. And here's the deal. If I like Kyle Busch in Group A, that's a Chevrolet. If I like Denny Hamlin in Group B, that's a Toyota. I wish I had a group that had a Ford like this, because I could take a Ford and I could almost, round my bases. You could probably find that somewhere on DraftKings or Westgate or somewhere that has these group matchups. But I'll stick with another Toyota. I'll do the Tyler Reddick.
Well, I was pretty much done with this group.
I wasn't.
Because I didn't really care for this group.
Well, let's get to Group E then for you. I'll help you out there, my friend.
I'm not sure. I'm much happier with Group E. I really sound like Ebenezer Scrooge today, don't I?
Our co-favorites are Ty Gibbs and Todd Gillen at 265. Martin Truex Jr., Daniel Suarez are both 270. Here you've got two Toyota teammates, a Chevy and a Ford. Hard to differentiate in that if you go on my theory. Martin Truex Jr., the only thing I like about Martin is normally he runs in the back and makes it to the end, but he hasn't been able to do that lately. Ty Gibbs, to me...
There is no one who will be happier driving out of that tunnel when that race is over on Sunday than Martin Truex Jr., knowing that he never has to run one of those races again. Although he is going to run the Daytona 500, so that kind of
I would be willing to bet he runs the Daytona 500, and that's probably the only super speedway he runs for the rest of his...
I was going to say, I don't know you'll ever even see him at Talladega.
And let me tell you something. There's one reason why he's going to run the Daytona 500.
Because somebody's paying him.
Hey, listen, I'd come out of retirement just for the Daytona 500 for the money.
Well, there you go.
It pays that well. But he just has not been what he once was for a brief period of time at these places. So I can take him out of that running. Daniel Suarez, you and I both said we both like Daniel. Todd Gillen, kind of a wild card in this. But that Ty Gibbs, he's just been running so well everywhere he goes lately still. Could this be a place that Ty gets a win? I don't know. 4 races, 0 top 10s at Talladega. If I jump onto the side with this,
I think Daniel,
9 races, 1 top 5.
I think Daniel's probably got the best track record, really, at these type tracks.
He does, looking at stats.
And I know Truex, he's probably got some good numbers, but Truex just wants to get out of here. So I like Suarez in this deal, although I really liked him when he was in Group E at Bristol, and that didn't do me very good either.
I like Suarez. I like Gibbs. It's hard for me to pick between those two, but there's the best I can give you for numbers for this week. Let's get to Group F. Noah Gragson, Josh Berry, Justin Haley, all co-favorite. Chase Briscoe favorite, 260. Noah Gragson, Josh Berry, Justin Haley, all 270.
Here's one
3
thing.
Teammates, and what is Haley in now?
Well, here's the thing I like with Haley.
He's a Spire. So they're all Chevys.
But Haley,
3 Fords and a Chevy.
Haley is in a car that we have seen Corey LaJoie run very well on these tracks.
And Haley is good at these places.
And Haley is good at these places. He even has a win. No, it was a little bit.
Doesn't matter. Got to win.
He still got to win. He still has the trophy. To me,
I would have taken that win that day.
Absolutely. To me, in this group, I like Justin Haley.
I don't disagree with you. I can't knock that. If you watch social media this week, Josh Berry, Chase Briscoe, Ryan Preece have had some great fun time with the social media stuff going on. So the Stewart-Haas group, not downplaying them closing. It's been a lot of fun. Noah is bringing the mullet back. I don't know if you saw that. He just got his mullet cut. So do you give any power to the mullet? We're looking at a lot of.
Can we get him in the blackjack tournament now?
I texted him last night. We're working on that.
Okay.
So I don't dislike your Justin Haley pick, and it falls in the line of he's the only Chevy with the 3 Fords. So I won't hate on your Justin Haley in Group F.
I'm glad you're not hating on Haley.
Not Haley, you. Haley, I'm not hating on. Just not hating on your pick of Haley in Group F.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Got to clarify that. Let's get the manufacturer. And Jeff, I like this manufacturer bet. Ford plus 130, Chevy plus 140, Toyota plus 330. This is a game of numbers.
I think these numbers are exactly the way they should be.
I
totally
do not
agree
disagree.
with this.
You got 6 Toyotas in the field, and you've got 18 Chevrolets and 14 Fords or whatever it is. So that is absolutely the way this should be. But I still, plus 330 in a 3-man horse race with some good cars in the Toyota group. They had great strategy, at the Daytona race till they booted themselves out of the race. Yeah. 330 is a great return for a 3-man horse race. I'm taking the Toyota 330. I like that.
Well, I agree with you. It's a great return. I'm probably not going to take it because I don't have that much confidence in them. But I agree with you. I think these numbers are exactly the way they should be, and it's there to entice.
This race is all about the Talladega Daytona. This is a numbers game. This is what do you got to do to maximize your odds? I think maximizing Toyota plus 330 is a good bet.
Don't disagree.
All right. Championship odds, they haven't really changed, right?
No.
We had a win last week that didn't matter for the rest of it.
Needle.
So, it was just kind of okay.
I don't know if we have a screen with our picks for last week, but congratulations.
That's what I was looking up. I had
congratulations to you. You did well. The pit crew, I think pit crew did pretty well last week. I only got one right, and that was Bubba going head to head against Keselowski. But
you have him? We have.
Oh, we have.
Oh, hey, there we go.
Oh, here we go.
Jeff,
my picks.
Jeff's picks, and I like this because it gives the season total right there. Jeff with the 3.95,
but it's still
above your Mendoza line.
Yes,
the real Mendoza line
Correct.
Of zeros. You got the Wallace over Brad K. Another stellar week for the Brendan Gaughan picks.
Couple of head-to-heads there. Yeah.
Couple head-to-heads. Got Byron Group A with that bit. I told you I couldn't leave that hanging out there.
It was Group D. Bowman had a great run. He finished 5th or 6th, I believe, and then
still
you lost it to Chastain.
Ross Chastain. But 91 units on the season. And then how about the pit crew? Great set of picks last week. They end up 2 wins. Almost they're at 15 units on the season. So not a bad set of run. The pit crew who started the season picking last every week.
And now
we got a new guy picking last.
Is that what we're ready for?
Well,
our picks here?
I mean, I still kind of want to talk about season totals because that's kind of my favorite thing.
I think we talked about that plenty.
You sure?
Yeah, because if you don't get to 100 now, you're going to be disappointed.
That is my Mendoza
That's
line.
what I actually like is the fact that you could still be disappointed.
I could be.
Because if you don't get to 100, I know you are going to be disappointed.
But do you think I will be disappointed? That's the question. I could be.
especially if you take a -5 on Talladega.
Listen, I could take a -5 on Talladega, but I'm going to maximize my bets here. I'm going to maximize.
I know you are.
I'm a maximizer.
All right.
Maximizer.
All right. Here's
Can I
my
say it again?
picks.
Maximizer.
Whatever. Maximize. Whatever.
Maximus.
We didn't say penultimate this week for Pete Pistone. It's the penultimate race in the second
round.
Second round.
Not important enough yet. Not important enough to use it. We got to save that.
I want Pete to know we're thinking about him.
Pete, I don't worry. I talk to Pete all the time. He knows.
Okay.
He knows.
All right. I'm going to take Suarez for the top 3. I want to tap one big number there. I got to try to catch the pit crew now. Plus 800 on Suarez.
All right.
I think.
Notice he quit saying he has to catch me. He's trying to catch the pit crew.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, there's not even 100 to 1 on the board, is there? 60 to 1. Austin Dillon or Allmendinger. It's the most. I couldn't even come close to you, even if I get that right. Now, if I get maybe, you never know. Next week at the Roval, we'll see. Anyway. I think I was all over the Denny Hamlin over Michael McDowell. I'm taking Denny in the head-to-head. The other 3 I'm going in groups. I'm all in on Ryan Blaney. I just think he's so good at Talladega. I like him there in Group A. I think it was pretty obvious that William Byron was my pick in Group C, and I'm also going to put my money on Justin Haley in Group F, plus 270.
All right. So now we also have the pit crew picks, which we have an honor this week. We're going to do our best. She has been practicing, she said, her new radio voice. And Ann
the voice
is coming
from beyond,
coming through with the pit crew picks today. Ann, please lead the pit crew out.
It's the voice of Goddess.
The Goddess.
Yes.
That's right. Goddess Ann.
And this is all crapshoot. All right. This is all crapshoot.
How many times have we heard that word today?
We're
Do
going.
we have a countdown?
We didn't do a crapshoot count.
We're gonna go Logano for the win, 12 to 1.
Picking a winner at Talladega.
We're gonna go Group A with Blaney at 265. Group D, Byron at 270. Going Group E, Daniel Suarez at 265, and I'm going Toyota at plus 330.
So the good news is it sounds like Group A is going to be a heck of a battle for the Gaughan Racing crew because you picked.
I also picked Blaney.
You got Blaney.
We have 2 of the same picks. I have Blaney in A, and I have Byron in
Good.
D.
That makes me happy because I'm going to be way differentiated on a lot of things. So to get into my picks, I'm going to do first kick off with one head-to-head. I'm with you. Denny Hamlin at a plus 105 line at a super speedway against McDowell, who may qualify well but has not had the finishes. So I am doing the plus 105 number for Denny Hamlin in the head-to-heads. Then I got 3 groups. I'm going Kyle Busch Group A against you guys. I'm taking my theory. I'm going Denny Hamlin Group B on my theory. And I'm going Tyler Reddick Group D on my theory of if anything happens. Now, Toyota's wreck, I lose 2 of them. But that's the risk you take. Then I am also going to go, I guess I did. You know what? Now that I look at this, I did put a lot of eggs in the Toyota basket. I am going Toyota to win plus 330.
So Toyota X, you lose 4 bets.
If Toyota Rex, I could possibly lose 4, but I still think it's worth it basing on my theory of maximization of the odds of the day.
I'm just waiting if there is a big Toyota wreck. How many seconds after that wreck does the text come through on my phone that's got that little orange mad emoji face followed by some words we can't say on the radio?
There is a possibility that could happen. But that's okay because that's why it's called gambling. Exactly. That's what we do. It's Gaughan Racing. We're about gambling out here.
It is.
That's where we're at. That's the show for today. We just broke down.
We got a minute left.
Yep.
And I know we've had a lot of fun on the show, but I grew up in southwestern Virginia, and even though it's not where I'm from, but you go a little farther southwest Virginia, western North Carolina, where you spent time in North Carolina, and eastern Tennessee, I can't stress enough how much they need help.
I want to say one thing to Greg Biffle, and I'll probably cry when I'm talking about it.
I'm with you.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
The government, take a page from Greg frickin' Biffle, government.
Yes.
Greg Biffle seeing a guy flash a mirror at him and finding a way to land in a field to get them EpiPens and stuff.
And he keeps going back and forth. And what the NASCAR community is doing, but these people need help.
All the race teams are doing this too, by the way.
If you can do anything to help these people, please do it. Because, like I said, that region of the country is very near and dear to me. And it's been
Chimney
very
Rock was a beautiful town too, and I've seen pictures of that. But Biffle,
Irwin, anybody's driven from Asheville to Bristol, Irwin is gone.
Oh.
And it's
Biffle though. The videos he's putting up, God's work, Greg. Great job, bud.
Yeah.
Way to make NASCAR
he needs to get
proud.
the Presidential Medal of Freedom or something like that.
I am trying about it. Just, I watched some of his stuff. So anyway, thoughts and prayers to all those in that Carolina region. We got a lot of friends up there, you especially, family right near there. We'll see you guys next week, guys. We'll break it all down.